Well, hello there. Carol Dockum here with Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I'm so excited because this is our very first business spotlight of 2023. And I'm just so excited to have our special guest today, the fabulous Beth Conger with Beth Conger Coaching. And I also want to give her a shout out because she is one of our newest success team members here at Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I'm just so grateful that she and I I got tongue tied there, our paths crossed on Alignable. And I saw her beautiful face, her picture, and I read her bio on Alignable and said, oh my goodness, we have got to connect. And just magic happened when I met her on Alignable. And then the first time I actually met you, Beth, in person, you really took my breath away because you just, when you entered the room of our monthly Lunch and Learn networking event, and you just lit up the room. So your smile, your energy, it's just contagious. And I always say, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And I love the saying of just surround yourself with brilliance, and I do. So so excited to highlight and spotlight Beth. Beth is a certified professional leadership coach, helping those who have checked all of their boxes. They've done everything that they were told that would bring them a fulfilled life. She helps them start living the life on their terms. Beth has over 20 plus years of corporate experience, both external and internal, with brand design, employee experiences, and human insights at globally renowned companies. With her expert skill set of scientifically based methodologies, intuition, tools, and techniques, her coaching is all about helping her clients understand what and why they value the most, why they're stubbing their toe, and come up with new approaches to live a more peaceful, productive, and fulfilled life. And I don't know about you, but I know I want to live a very fulfilled, productive, happy life, right? So simply put, she helps them reframe their thoughts, refocus on what's important, and reveal a more powerful version of themselves. Please help me welcome Beth Conger.
Hi, I'm so happy to be with you today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here. Seriously, Beth. You are just truly amazing. And I know we're just getting to know one another. I would love to hear, how you got started with your coaching program and the services that you offered. What inspired you? What made you take that leap from corporate world with your, years of experience in branding, marketing, leadership, and now Beth Conger Coaching?
It's a great question, and one I get asked frequently. So I did spend a lot of my tenure in corporate America, and I had made a shift from one big company to another one. And what was so interesting to me as I was making that shift is I felt, oh, fresh start, I can kind of reinvent myself. But within 6 to 9 months, I found myself stubbing my toe in the exact same ways that I was at my previous company. And by stubbing my toe, what I mean is I was qualified to do what I did. I added value, but I felt very competitive amongst people who I was supposed to be partnering with and working with. I would get very frustrated if somebody else was gaining the spotlight and I wasn't. It was just a lot of these things that I think we all face, but don't necessarily want to admit. And I just raised my hand and said, hey, I need a coach. I need to fix this at work because this isn't working. And I ended up interviewing a couple of different coaches. And the one that I selected, I said that to her and she's like, yeah, we're not just going to fix this at work. It's about fixing this in life. And that was exactly what she did. She helped me kind of pull those blinders apart, where I was able to look at things from more varying points of view. I was able to appreciate where I was the cause of my own problem. Every thought we have creates an immediate emotion. And that thought plus emotion inspires an action. And I was doing a lot of reacting that I regretted either instantly or a few weeks later, versus changing the thought, to pivoting the emotion to taking a thoughtful action. And so I went through a 6-month program with her, and my life just started to change. And over the next couple of years, I really did a lot of thinking of what is it that I am here to do in this world. And the change in me was so profound that I couldn't wait to give it to others. And that's when I made the decision to opening my coaching practice.
I absolutely love, number one, your experience. And, you actually went through this entire process yourself. And to me, it sounds like it's a discovery thing as well. And what you gained from that 6-month program, in terms of, it sounds to me like it was just an eye opener, not just at in the workplace, in, corporate world and, our 9-to-5 jobs, but also in our personal lives as well.
Yeah, how you do one thing is how you do everything, because how you do the one thing is based on your beliefs, it's based on your interpretations, it's based on your values. So if you're at odds with something in one area of your life, it is because of that deep-seated core makeup of you. So you're going to be at odds with it in other areas of your life. And one of the key questions that really kind of hits me all the time is, how do you want to play this game of life? I mean, we get this opportunity to be on this planet. Do you want to play it in a way that leaves you feeling like you're behind the 8 ball, where you feel like the victim, where you feel like you have to do for everybody else and can't do for yourself? Or do you want to play it where there's more of a balance, where you're able to put yourself in the mix and appreciate what you need? Because if you're not giving someone the best of you, you're giving them what's left of you. And that's very much how I was playing life. So one of the coolest things about my coaching revelation was that I get to decide how I want to show up, how I want to take my next steps. And that's the biggest thing that I work to bring all of my clients into, is awareness of how they are currently showing up. We really take a look at the emotions that play such a big role in that. And it's not about tampering them down. It's not about ignoring them. It's not about emotional outbursts. Emotions give us data points. They give us information. And so if we can look at that emotion and figure out where's that coming from, then it helps you process it and remove it. So all that's left are the facts. I tell people all the time, I was laid off. I was fired. I had different things happen to me throughout my career. And I always looked at it as, I'm the victim. This just happened to me. Those things are awful scenarios to go through. And if we can just pivot even the slightest to say, okay, that just happened. Now, what do I want to do with it? It changes the game. So it's these little mind shift pivots that can absolutely change the game.
Oh my gosh, that was just an eye opener. To me, it sounds like it really starts with an awareness, right? An awareness. And I would think that happens over time. Mm-hmm. To develop that skill set. Like, number one, instead of just immediately reacting to a situation or to a person, instead of just automatically reacting, right? Really taking the time to be aware, and then start with, how am I feeling, and how to redirect that, because as you said, your feelings are going to lead to the emotions, and then that's going to lead to the actions that you take, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And take it back to what I said earlier about life is a game and how do you want to play it? And think about the game of golf. So that is one of the most frustrating games that there is out there. And you can be a golfer from age 8 until you are 80, and you are always learning something different. It is the practice. It is the dedication. So where I had 6 months of coaching, I learned all the tools. I'm still practicing every single one of them on a daily basis, because there are things that just catch you in the moment and you want to get fired up. And it's that ability to pause and bring yourself down, and then just start to ask what's actually happening here. And then that is enough of a pause and break that you can take that thoughtful action.
I love it. I would love to know a little bit more about, I'm wondering if you would be able to share an example or two of some success stories of a client that you've worked with, whether it's helping them, with a breakthrough or just like you said, refocusing, what's the right word? Just repositioning their situation so that they can overcome it, for more balance in their life, or just a success story or two, because I think that would be really helpful.
Absolutely. So I engaged with a client last spring, and she came to me where she was very not sure of herself. Her confidence level was very low. She felt that she really wanted to own a room, but didn't felt as though she did. She knew that a job loss for her was on the horizon. There was a lot of discussion around layoffs and things that were going to be happening. So she just was at this moment in time where she recognized, like I had years earlier, that it was me and that, she needed to make the difference. So we started working together, and I take all of my clients through an energy assessment. And it's not energy woo-woo. It's literally this idea that all matter is made up of energy, and we have varying levels of productive energy within us. And so through that assessment, her baseline where we started the coaching program was that she had a lot of victim and anger mentality and energy that was kind of driving a lot of her actions. And this kind of agreement to just do things and not worry about, all the other things was kind of her bias. She was just like, okay, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to do the doing, but she wasn't living. So we really started working through, where does this sum of lack of self-confidence come from? Where does your inability to feel like you are enough come from? She was a classic doer. It's funny, we are human beings by scientific makeup, but we are not being half the time. We are human doings most of our lives. So it was really about helping her appreciate that these task lists that she made for herself were all self-induced. They were very much about what she thought she needed to do to prove her worth. And what she realized was when she could start to remove some of those tasks that weren't necessary, when she started to have more open conversations about really, what is the priority here? What is it that I want? What are you expecting of me? When we get that open dialogue, that confidence to ask questions and kind of dive deep, she realized she is enough. She realized she has all the tools that she needs. And so we got to kind of the last few months of sessions, and she was a totally different person. And we did another energy assessment at the end of it, and her energy levels were much more in that level 5, level 6 of we win, we all win. I'm in creativity. I'm tapping into my intuition. I feel confident in who I am. And I just spoke with her again last week, and where she came to me wanting to own a room, but feeling like she was more of the person sitting in the corner. She gave me 3 examples without even knowing of it, how she ran a meeting in a way that commanded her attention. She managed conversations with bosses and peers in ways that she was so in the driver's seat. And it was literally by step, practice by practice, building that self-confidence by being aware of how she was showing up, removing the emotion by processing it and looking at it as a data point, and then getting herself into that conscious choice where she got to decide how she showed up, how she wanted to present, how she wanted to ask questions. And she's a new human. It's so awesome to see.
I love it. I mean, to me, it sounds like you really helped her step into her power, right?
Yeah.
Build that self-confidence that, I mean, she already had it within herself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of coaching, because we all have everything we need inside us, but we get so consumed by the things that we think we are supposed to do, the roles we're supposed to play. Oh my goodness. If I had $1 for everyone who's like, well, I'm a mom and I have to do this, this, and this. Yes, you have children, but are you a mom or are you Beth Conger? Are you a mom or are you Carol Dockum? And who is Carol Dockum at the end of the day? And so that's really where this practice and this tenacity around like trying to really come into your own is what coaching is all about, because I hold every one of my clients accountable. At the end of a session, they assign themselves homework of what are they going to work on and practice and try to improve over the next time period before we meet again. And so it really is that accountability coupled with tools that help people shed the layers of yuck that we have built, remove the masks that we wear, and really just step into the amazing human that we are.
I absolutely love that, Beth. And I'm a note taker. So if you see me, jotting things down here, I love that you talked about the classic doers versus being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how that works, because I just thought that was really fascinating, because I think you're right. I think we're trained and programmed, through, well, from the very beginning, through school age years, college, universities, creating these lists of things to do and these expectations versus being. So I just thought that was really interesting, and how, as you mentioned, a lot of that is self-induced, of the doing, the list of things to do, never-ending tasks that creates all this overwhelm and exhaustion, and then you're out of whack and out of balance, right?
Yes, and you added a really critical element to that in the way that you played it back to me, insofar as this is kind of how we're trained. I mean, think about it. From the earliest ages, our parents tell us what to do. We have chores that we need to check off the list. We go to school and teachers give us assignments that we have to do. And so we are absolutely programmed to be the doer. There's so many recovering taskmasters that I've met along the way because we get so good at it. And that is where we find our value, is in our productivity. I was coaching another wonderful woman who grew up in corporate America. And so she was a taskmaster. She knew how to get the job done, so brilliant at what she did. And then she started to find herself in these management positions where, according to the company, it wasn't about the doing, it was about the leading. But nobody teaches us how to lead. And so much of leading is through empowering others to do the doing and teaching and coaching that, and being the one who can set the direction, set the vision. But we're not taught how to do that. And so it's supremely uncomfortable, and it takes a lot of internalization. And it's also why so many of my clients come to me with a focus on career. And when we start talking about life, that's the squishy part, because there isn't a to-do list in life. There's a to-do list at home, but there's not a to-do list on how to lead a relationship effectively with your spouse. There's not a to-do list on how to parent. What parent wouldn't love a guideline when they get their baby, they get a guidebook, but there isn't. And so it's all of that ambiguity that we don't know how to just sink back and sit in. And so that's the difference. While you are a human being, you're still doing things, but you're doing it in a way that allows for creativity. You're doing it in a way where things aren't right, wrong, good, bad. They just are. You're doing it in a way where you can't actually make a mistake. There's a lot of corporate speak out there that's like, oh, we learn from our mistakes, and you have a mistake, and what comes from that. But there always seems to be but you did it wrong, or you need to do it better. In this being mindset, it's like, okay, cool, that didn't go as planned. What did I learn? How can I do something differently? So it's about giving yourself grace and space to explore the best of you.
I absolutely love that. Yes, they don't really teach work-life balance, right? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of lip service that's given to work-life balance, but once you're really in a corporate world, or you're in you're an employee in a small business owner, entrepreneur shop or brick and mortar, I think there's just a lot of lip service placed on the topic of work-life balance, but the tools aren't there to, how do you manage that, right?
Yes. And COVID changed the game, changed
Yes.
the game in ways that I am just so curious what we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years. But employees and bosses and corporations alike realized, hey, we can actually be even more productive in a work from home environment or even a hybrid environment. And I was working at a grocery company at the time, and everybody stepped up. I mean, productivity was bonkers, and the quality of the work was phenomenal. And so I think that was eye-opening to people of my generation and older generations, because millennials were never really going to hang with the idea that it's a 9 to 5 and the whole like work-life balance thing. And I don't think Gen Y or Gen Z were ever going to really kind of come into that either. And so the world is kind of finding itself in this place and space of, hey, we can do things not by the traditional rules, but we can look at things differently. And so I think that's really sparking a lot of, hey, what else is possible for me as clients come and want to learn more about coaching and want to learn more about different ways to think about their lives, because it's not the way we grew up anymore. There's potential and opportunity that people are starting to let themselves believe is possible, which is awesome.
It is really, really awesome. You're absolutely right. I think COVID really changed the trajectory of and the definition of work and the environment, and that you can be productive working virtually or working from home, and maybe micromanagement is not the right way to go, right?
Maybe.
I think in general, I don't like being micromanaged. Yes, I signed up for a specific job description. Obviously, I was hired because I have the skill set and the background, right, to take on this job or this role. But to be micromanaged, I think it's just human nature that it's just not going to work out well, right?
Well, and
It leads to job dissatisfaction. It leads to, non-productivity and/or, the workforce leaving, right, and looking for other opportunities and not staying on board. So
well, and what I would say to that too is I coach my clients that you always get to decide. You always get to decide what works for you, what doesn't work for you. A lot of my tenure in corporate America was, Beth, go do this role. Beth, you'd be great at this role. And I got a lot of opportunities for it, but I didn't feel like I was in the driver's seat for most of it. I was like, okay, cool, I'll go here, I'll go here. And it finally dawned on me one day that, hey, I actually get to decide what it is that I want to do. And so you can't control your manager and how they are managing, but you always get to decide how you want to show up and what action you want to take in response.
I love that. You're absolutely right. We all have a choice, right? And not only in our work lives, but also in our home lives as well. We get to choose. Actually, we get to choose our thoughts.
Yes, yeah, to create our emotions. And people get so stumped up about that, they're like, I can't change my thought, because you never thought about changing your thought. But if you just pause and think, hey, I can actually think something else. I mean, think all the times we interpret something, like something happens and we're like, oh, that person did that because blah, blah, blah. Well, that person might have done that for 12 other reasons. And even when you can pause and appreciate that that person might have had 12 other reasons for doing it, it changes the game. It opens it up to potential and opportunity. And that's what it's about.
You're absolutely right, Beth. That's why I love you and I love what you do and how you help your clients. And yes, it's powerful once you understand that your thoughts really create your reality, your thoughts create your experiences, and how you live your life. So if you understand that and you can catch yourself and change your thoughts, it totally changes your world, right? And
Yeah.
I've been on this self-discovery journey myself for, I think, over 15 years of just personal growth and development, and finding ways to improve myself so that I can live a happier, more fulfilled life as well. And I think it's so powerful that once you discover that, you have the power within you, right? But you need to work with a great coach who's going to help you get there, right? So
Yeah.
Beth, I'd love for you to tell us a bit about your upcoming program, Permission Granted, and what you have going on.
Yes, absolutely. So in addition to one-to-one individual coaching, I kind of took what I'd been hearing from a lot of my clients over the course of the last couple of years, and there were a couple of common themes. And the genesis underneath those common themes is that people don't even think about the fact that they have a right and that they have an ability to take care of themselves. That's kind of the first hurdle to overcome to even want to go to coaching. And within that, it's all about giving yourself permission, thus the name permission granted, to reframe. What is happening in your life that is causing you stress, and how can you kind of move some of that? What in your life is making you not feel like you have a choice in the matter? And how do you get tighter on where your choices are, because they are all around you in every moment? And again, it goes back to the roles, like the masks that people wear. So we're so tied into this identity that if we can reframe some of our stressors, that we have a choice, and I am not these 5 roles, I am Beth Conger, the human, then we start to shift into refocusing. So what is important to Beth Conger, the human? What are my core values? Who do I want to be as my badass best version of myself? And that's so much fun to create with my clients. And again, coming back to choice, like we all always have a choice in how we want to show up. And then once we've done that hard work, we're able to reveal us in our best moments and in our best opportunities. So that's about growing that self-confidence, removing the rocks and the weeds and the things that kind of get in our way on that, and being able to bloom in our utmost self-confidence, and really setting the mindset of what I want to be and how do I really make that mindset stick. So that is an 8-week program that I have designed called Permission Granted. It's going to meet on Tuesday nights starting February 7th. It's a virtual program, and it is all about taking women through this concept of being able to reframe what's actually happening, refocus on what's most important, and reveal the most badass version of themselves on their terms.
I'm so excited for you. So February 7th, you heard it. Yes, permission granted. This sounds like an amazing 8-week online program, Beth. So how many spots do you still have available? And then where is the best place for someone to either maybe schedule a one-to-one to learn a little bit more about the program and or sign up?
Awesome. So there are 6 spots available. This is for women only. So sorry, men, you'll have to check me for a one-to-one if you're interested. But yeah, the idea is that we just kind of come together, learn from each other, and learn through the program. So to find out more information, visit bethcongercoaching.com/cohort. Or there's a pop-up on my homepage. You kind of can't miss it, bethcongercoaching.com. And that's also where you can schedule time with me in the Get to Know You drop-down menu. And you'll just learn more about it, and I'll get to know you, and we'll see if it's a fit.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Beth, for sharing your passion and your expertise here with us at Beautiful Faces Going Places Women's Success Network. And I am so looking forward to having you as a guest speaker in our upcoming programs as well, and working with you in 2023. And I just want to say thank you so much. And for our viewers, if you're catching the live stream and or the replay, we will share all the links below. And for our future events for 2023, visit our website often at beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com and come and join us for virtual networking events, lunch and learns, webinars, summits, all kinds of goodness here. All right, take care. Thank you so much, Beth.
Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate it.